developing more pasture land and building more stables. The market is down right now. How much longer we can stay as large as we are is anybody's guess. If it doesn't improve, we can't.
But John Simpson keeps it all in perspective.
Hanover Shoe Farms is special to me, and I'm prejudiced. You must understand that. It's because it is the greatest farm, and as long as I live and have anything to do with it, I want to keep it that way.
Sandman Hanover, bred at Hanover Shoe Farms, and certainly one of the candidates to win this race, the 9th race on tonight's card.
Well, of course, he'll team up with Pilgrim's Patriot as 1 in 1A, part of a Lugada entry. Sandman Hanover won the Messenger Stake last year. He's been first or second in his last 9 starts, and he is a $1 million winner.
And there's Top Notcher. I mentioned Doug Brown might have back-to-back winners. Good chance here with Top Notcher.
And another $1 million earner in that field.
9th race is coming up, the Horse and Gelding Pace.
Only one antiperspirant in the world helps keep you so dry with the cool, clean scent of Old Spice. Only one deodorant in the world has so many odor-fighting ingredients with the cool, clean scent of Old Spice. There's only one Old Spice.
It's back! The Domino's Pepperoni Pizza Feast is back! More pepperoni and extra cheese for only $7.99. And another one for just $4 more. But only for a limited time.
It's time for Domino's Pizza!
Call now.
Domino's Pizza.
For all you rookies out there, the great Nolan Ryan will demonstrate his pitching technique.
The Bic Metal Shaver, because I want to look as good off the mound as on. Before the game, it's Bic Metal. After the game, it's Bic Metal. The Bic Metal Shaver, because even good old boys want to look good. It's a choice of this right-hander, the Bic Metal Shaver. It makes me look good every time out. There's that one.
Welcome back to South Florida. And here's a look at the Breeders' Crown, tonight's 9th race, the Horse and Gelding Pace. The odds, as you can see, Sandman Hanover and Pilgrim's Patriot are coupled as an entry, owned by LPG Standardbred Associates, being held at 6-1. Dare You 2 at 2-1. Dare You 2 set a Pompano track record 2 starts back. And Top Notcher, the public's choice, at 3-5 from post position number 8. And there's Top Notcher, driven by Doug Brown and trained by Renee Larman. So this is a good group with Mystery Fun and Dare You 2 and Storm Compensation, but which horses are the ones to beat? Let's find out. In the horse pace, Top Notcher is one of the top contenders to win it all. Last Saturday night, he turned in an electrifying track record performance against not only the best pacers in tonight's field, but also the likes of Caesar's Jackpot and Kiev Hanover. He got to the lead early and wired the field. Top Notcher was simply the best of the bunch.
And the tempo quickens as they head into the final turn. Top Notcher has had it all his own way. Kiev Hanover has had the perfect pocket trip. Caesar's Jackpot within striking distance. And Dare You 2 is on the outside. 3 quarters, 1:24.4. That third quarter in 27-3. They've got less than an eighth of a mile to pace. And now Harold Kelly's going to work on Top Notcher. He responds by opening up by 2. Kiev Hanover on the outside. Caesar's Jackpot closing in. They're coming to the wire, and Top Notcher takes it in 1:52.2.
Trainer Renee Larman was pleased, but still knows tonight will be tough.
7 other good horses in there. It's going to be very tough.
One of Top Notcher's toughest challenges should come from millionaire pacer Sandman Hanover, who he did not face last week. Trained by Ken Sieber, this 4-year-old big towner is coming up to this race in fine fashion. After being freshened in June and July, he has finished no worse than second in his last 7 pari-mutuel starts. The 1989 winner of the Messenger Stakes has faced the best free-for-allers in North America this year. And coming off a qualifier at Pompano, this speedball should be ready.
With my hours and her schedule, it's like living with a stranger. Something's not right.
When you want it to be right, take a certified vacation to Las Vegas. Dazzling lights, sizzling nights, certified makes it right. Certified vacations include round-trip air, hotel accommodations, and all for a price that won't break the bank.
Hi, stranger.
Certified vacations, when you want it to be right. Call your travel agent or Certified Vacations. Barbecue? Sure, but summer's over. Baggett? McDonald's? Hey, McRib. All right. You know, I sure could go for some, fries and a Coke with that. A McRib pack. I'll take it. Hey, let's eat. Oops, better do it now, huh? McRib. McDonald's? For food, folks, and fun. Chomp.
Do you know what open-end mutual funds are?
The Wall Street Journal Guide to Understanding Money and Markets tells you in clear, simple English.
Do you know how to spot trends in stocks?
And what stock options are?
And zero coupon bonds?
And the difference between Treasury bills and Treasury notes?
Everything you want to know about the sometimes baffling world of money and investing is in this remarkable 120-page book. And now it's yours free when you subscribe to the Wall Street Journal. Call now and you can have 13 weeks of the Wall Street Journal and this valuable 120-page Guide to Understanding Money and Markets. That's 13 weeks of the Journal for the news and ideas you need every business day. And this guide free, which tells you everything you want to know about money and markets, now for only $34. Call toll-free 800-548-0100. Today's Wall Street Journal. Faster, tougher, smarter. Call 800-548-0100 now.
We're just 2 minutes to the post for tonight's horse and gelding pace, and one of the horses that's an interesting one is Bay's Fella, number 4, who made a break at the start of last year's Breeders' Crown, but is the only returning Breeders' Crown starter in this field. And for more on Bay's Fella, let's check in with Stan Bergstein.
Follow this story now. They're 20 golfing buddies. They keep talking about buying a racehorse. Finally put up $600 apiece. They find an owner that wants to disperse his stable, and they buy a horse from him for $8,000, figuring that'll leave him $4,000 to train it. Now they have a horse and his equipment, but no trainer. They found a young fellow who is training high school students in how to be harness horses. They gave a harness horse trainer. They gave him the horse. Bay's Fella called himself the Par Birdie Stable, and the horse won $604,000. Many of the 20 are here tonight. I'd like to say Bay's Fella has a good chance. I don't think he has a shot. But the weather is good. There are plenty of golf courses around here, and they can't take away that $604,000. That was no birdie, boys. That wasn't par. That was an ace. Bruce?
Thank you very much, Stan. I wouldn't know much about birdies and pars. I'm trying to get down to bogey golf.
And you may never know about an ace in the game of golf, I'll tell you that, because that's about the hardest thing. But interesting story about Bay's Fella.
We are 1 minute to post. I mentioned earlier, Dare You To set a Pompano track record 2 starts back, 151-4. And Dare You To is getting some support at 5-2. But Gary, sometimes when a horse has such a brilliant race mile, 1 week or 2 weeks before another event, sometimes doesn't have much left. What do you expect from Dare You To? As we look at the post positions, by the way, in addition to the head numbers, that indicates where each of these horse pacers will leave from in tonight's race.
Well, of course, Top Notcher has the outside spot. Sandman Hanover's at the rail. Dare You To just about right in the middle of those two. Post 3, which is a good spot. The thing about Dare You To, he got a lot of help from A.J. Storm Honor in that 151-4 mile here a couple of weeks ago. He made a big sweeping move and came on, but he probably has some left because he wasn't really used all that hard in that big effort.
Now, Mystery Fund is the last horse ever to beat Goalie Jeff. He won with Waples the only time he ever drove the colt, and Waples is driving Mystery Fund tonight. This Mystery Fund has driven on 12 different tracks in 1990. He has been a world traveler.
Kind of like you, Bruce, to a degree. He also has a mark of 52-1 this year, which is certainly respectable. Mystery Fund is definitely a contender here, and you can see the way the purse breaks down for this event.
So it will be a field of 8 with Sandman Hanover and Pilgrim's Patriot as the entry. $136,000 to the winner. And remember, this field also conspicuously absent TK Skipper, who has been hurt, and Do Run Run Bluegrass, who is not eligible. So 2 of the top older pacers in North America are not here for this particular event.
That, of course, is true. You still have a very competitive field for the horse and gelding pace. It would be probably a little bit different if those two were in this field as well.
I guess the real question about Top Notcher is the fact that he's had so many big wins in Canada this year, but has had only one win in the United States, and that was at Hazel Park in the Lake Superior Pace. And Top Notcher won at Pompano last week and earned some respect. And I think that trainer Renee Lehrman wants to do it for the big money this time around, and of course the recognition that goes with it.
Well, there were several people here last week, Bruce, when Top Notcher won in 52-2 that were just so happy that he went off at 7-2 because they believe very strongly in this horse.
Here is the field behind the starting gate. As we mentioned, head numbers are different from post position, and Top Notcher with Doug Brown once again will have to leave from the outside. Closest to us, keep in mind, is the rail, the inside position, and Top Notcher at the top of your screen means he is the furthest away from the rail.
Well, Top Notcher had post position 6 in his recent Pompano Park outing, and the field was not that much weaker than it is. Of course, you had Caesar's Jackpot and Kiev Hanover in there. Indeed, it was a strong field, and Top Notcher made the top as pretty much as easily as he wanted to, and I don't see any problem with him doing the same here.
So we're getting set for tonight's 9th race, the Horse and Gelding Pace. By the way, to be eligible for the Breeders' Crown, stallions of racehorses must be nominated by a breeder by a certain date. Owners must make sustaining payments during the year of the race, and owners must then pay a starting fee. Divisional honors on the line in this race tonight. If Top Notcher wins, he would have a very good shot at winning the age pacing division. We are live in Pompano Beach, Florida, at Pompano Park, the winter capital of harness racing. They race here 155 nights a year. The world record is 151-2, set by TK Skipper at Los Alamitos. The Pompano track record is Dare You To, set just 2 weeks ago, 151-4. Here's an update on the odds, with Top Notcher getting the most play at 1-2, meaning if you bet $2, you get back 3. Not much of an investment there. Dare You To is 3-1, the second choice.
What a night this could be for Doug Brown. 2 wins and 2 outings here. Town Pro and Top Notcher. He won't tell you much about it, but I'm sure he's feeling it right now.
Let's go up to one of the top track announcers in all of North America, whether you're talking standardbreds or thoroughbreds, Tom Durkin.
Top Notcher, of course, heavily favored here, and big money on the line if he wins. Not bad money if you finish second, $68,000, and even a good night's work, even if you finish 5th in this race, $13,600. Gate picking up speed, and they're off. And from the middle of the pack, Pace Fella, driven hard early to get the early lead. On the outside, Top Notcher has come out second. He's driving hard, 3 wide going into the turn. Down inside, Sandman Hanover is there, racing in 3rd position now. 2.5 lengths back to Mystery Fund, who's now 4th. Dare You 2 is under a hard hold by Jack Moisiev, racing now about 6 lengths off the lead. The field now coming into the lane for the first time. Top Notcher's in gear. A sizzling opening quarter of 27 1/5 seconds. Passing is now for the first time. Top Notcher taking command. Bay's Fella has yielded the lead. Sandman Hanover is racing in 3rd. Off the rail, Mystery Fund is now 4th. Dare You 2 right at his heels. Line 1 down on the inside, followed by Pilgrim's Patriot. Storm Compensation trails the field as they round the second turn. As Top Notcher dictates a strong pace, and the Bay's Fella is now second, 56-2 for the half mile. Bit of a breather there for Top Notcher, who leads the way into the wind and down the backstretch. Mystery Fund edging closer on the outside. To the inside, Bay's Fella 3rd. Dare You 2, a good second over trip. He's only 3 lengths off the lead of Top Notcher. Down on the inside, Sandman Hanover, nowhere to go. Storm Compensation is launching a 3 wide bid from the back of the pack. Then Pilgrim's Patriots in between horses. And down on the inside, line 1. 3/4 in 1:24-3. And the field coming to the top of the stretch here in the Breeders' Crown. And Top Notcher still in charge. Dare You 2 is forced to go 3 wide into the lane. Top Notcher in front and driving hard, holding on to the lead. Bay's Fella attacks on the outside. Top Notcher still there. Bay's Fella surging late. Could have an upset here. And yes! Bay's Fella pulls it off. Top Notcher was second best on the line. Well, there's a hole-in-one for you. Bay's Fella coming from just off the Pace in the final surges and scores a 60-1 upset here over heavily favored Top Notcher.
Well, I'll tell you, that's not a par, that's an eagle. Scored by Bay's Fella, a 60-1 long shot on the board. The 5-year-old by Brand New Fella out of the Tarboy mare, Basin Bay, roaring from behind to defeat Top Notcher, and we have our first upset of the night.
Indeed, our first upset of the night, Bruce, at a 152-1 new personal best for Bay's Fella, who was used pretty well in that first quarter mile there in 27-1. And of course, they moved him right away from the gate and tried to get a good early spot. That's exactly what happened. And Bay's Fella had enough kick in the final strides to get up and beat a very tough Top Notcher. All the credit in the world to Bay's Fella.
And Bay's Fella driven to victory tonight by a name that you probably don't know all that well, Paul McDonnell, who is an up-and-coming driver on the tough Canadian circuit, and he gets the job done. What a thrill this must be for him tonight, coming down to Pompano Park and winning the Breeders' Crown with Bay's Fella.
Of course, Bruce, you can see that Sandman Hanover really had no place to go for John Campbell. Locked in most of the mile and then locked in by Bay's Fella when they were coming to the wire. So Sandman, not much of a factor because he had no room.
I feel Ralph Regular is one of the very best.
He took a big burden off of my shoulders and made me feel like I could trust in people again.
Ralph Regular's office are doers. They are doers. They get the job done.
I think he's a very responsible, decent human being. And I wish there was more congressmen like him.
Ralph Regular for Congress, because he cares.
It's okay to be upset and angry with Ralph Regular. He hasn't met our needs. Regular and his Washington cronies have lowered our wages, raised our gas prices, and billed us for the savings and loan ripoff. While he forced us to sacrifice, he voted himself a $32,000 pay raise and cut a deal to keep us from talking about it. Let's talk truth. Ralph Regular doesn't care how hard we're working or how much we're paying for Washington's mistakes. We have too much at stake to send Ralph Regular back to Washington.
NCAA basketball. The action's outstanding. Everywhere you look, there's down-to-the-wire excitement.
Unbelievable! Unbelievable! Awesome, baby! Sensational! Super!
A new season tips off when top teams battle in the Dodge NIT. Tournament action begins Wednesday, November 14th at 7:30 Eastern, live on ESPN.
25 years ago, we said, I do. To celebrate, we're saying aloha, and we're doing it right.
Certified Vacations takes you to Hawaii. Inviting, enchanting, romantic, and Certified makes it right. Certified Vacations include round-trip air and hotel accommodations, all for a price that's pure paradise.
I'd marry you all over again.
Certified Vacations, when you want it to be right. Call your travel agent or Certified Vacations.
Wild thing. It is a wild thing. Oh, come shout and sing, join in the ring. It could be queen or it could be king. You go your way and I'll go mine. As long as you just make it fine.
The good times roll with the clean, fresh taste of Bud Light. It won't fill you up, never let you down.
Wild thing.
Bay's Fella lights up the tote board, the longest price in the history of 7 years of Breeders' Crown competition, $140.60. Went off at 69-1 or thereabout. 1160 returning for the place, 360 to show. Top Notcher second, the heavy favorite, 280 and 220. Sandman Hanover was third, $2.80. And the time of the mile, 152-1. Let's go to John Pavlak.
Well, you knew that the favorites couldn't last here, and Paul McDonnell, driving in his very first Breeders' Crown, gets the job done. This young man is trembling a little bit. I don't know if the excitement has really set in. How old are you, Paul?
27.
27. What were you doing when you were 27? Perhaps not winning the Breeders' Crown. All right, let's talk about the race. You had some good gate speed with your horse.
Yeah, he's very fast off the gate, and I just hope that he could get there first before the turn. From
we talk, there's such a thing in this business as a perfect trip. in behind a fast pace setter, and that's what you had tonight. Take nothing away from your horse.
That's true. That's the trip that I wanted. Top notcher. He was sure the horse to beat, and I thought if I could get a good 2-hole trip in behind him, that's what I was looking for.
At 124 and 3 down to the 3/4, you're pacing into unknown territory, and Dougie's working on his colt. You had to feel pretty good.
Yeah, that horse of mine, he just breezes along and paces so easy, and 124 and 3, he was still on the bit all the way.
Thank you very much, Paul McDonnell. Let's get John Lyons, one of the owners from Par Birdie. I imagine now everyone's golf score is going to improve by about 2 strokes.
Oh, we're real happy. We're going to stay down here the whole week.
I hear him cheering in the background. Tell us a little bit about the composition of these gentlemen. From what backgrounds do they come?
Well, they come from all professional backgrounds in the Buffalo area, all different kinds of things. What we have in common, we're all golfers. We got together, and I just would like to say one thing. There's one person that put this together, Bert Nash, all right, who had a very untimely death 2 years ago, and we all thought of him today. And he was the one that really championed the cause. And we wish he was here.
Our congratulations to him. When you're on the golf course, hit them long, straight, and not too often. What a thrill. Par Birdie stable, Paul McDonnell. Combined for the longest payoff in Breeders' Crown history, $140.60. Back in the paddock, here's Brad Diamond.
Now is Doug Brown. A stunned reaction back here on the paddock. And Doug, are you as stunned as everyone else?
I'm not stunned. I guess it was just the way the race went. He went his race and got beat.
Was he the last horse you expected to come up on the outside there?
Well, yeah, he kind of was, but with the trip he was getting, I just well, anybody could win out of a 2-hole trip, but I just didn't give him enough credit before we went into the race.
Would you have raced it any other way?
Well, if I had to do it over again, I'd do the exact same thing.
Okay, Doug Brown and Top Notcher. The first big upset of the night, unfortunately, was at the expense of that duo. Now let's go back to Bruce.
All right, let's check in with Stan Bergstein.
There is such a thing as a trip. The horse had the trip, but you still have to go there. You still have to keep up, and you still have to be able to come out of the hole and win it. And Bay's fella did, and breaks a misconception. Many people think you have to have a ton of money to be in the horse business. They think it's a sport for the wealthy. This indicates that it is not. This horse has now won almost $800,000, well over $750,000, and it was a $600 investment on the part of the 20 people who had stopped fooling around and said, let's stop all this talk and go buy a horse. You heard the story of how they did it, and you just saw what the horse did. And trip or not, he did it. He paced it. And he was there first at the wire, and he had a lot of very good horses behind him who could have had the opportunity if they had enough pace. They didn't, and he is the winner at $140 payoff, Bay's fella. Now to Bruce Beck.
Thank you, Stan, and congratulations to trainer Michael Domeno. Here are the exotic payoffs. The Perfecta 4 and 7, Bay's fella Top Notcher, $427.80, and the Superfecta 1, 2, 3, and 4. You have to pick in that order. Almost $5,000. Bay's fella lights up the board.
I'm spending too much time in the office and not enough time with my family. Something's not right.
When you want it to be right, take a certified vacation to Orlando. Certified makes it right. Visit Disney's Magic Kingdom, the Epcot Center, and a host of other spectacular attractions. Certified vacations to Orlando include round-trip air and your choice of accommodations, all for a price that's pure magic.
Thanks, Daddy.
Certified vacations, when you want it to be right. Call your travel agent or Certified Vacations.
Lies beget lies. God, you sound like Mother. Well, she happens to be right. Lying is a vicious circle, and there's no way out except to tell the truth.
One out of every 5 people who try cocaine get hooked. But that's not your problem. Or is it?
The battle for NASCAR's Winston Cup Championship can't get much closer. Mark Martin and Dale Earnhardt continue to grind it out at the Checker 500. Plus, you could win a new car. Sunday afternoon, live on ESPN.
Don't forget, tomorrow on ESPN, a big college football triple header. The afternoon starts with the Big Ten battle between Indiana and Michigan State. Both teams need to win to enhance their bowl hopes. And then it's Colorado against Nebraska. Nebraska's got to prove they can beat one of the best teams in the Big 8. And then at 7:30, it's Auburn and Florida tomorrow night. A triple header in college football tomorrow on ESPN. Our big race of the night, the 10th race of the evening, and what a field has assembled here at Pompano Park. It is led, of course, by Beach Towel, and the field getting ready for the post parade for tonight's 10th race. Number 1, CKS.
Well, CKS, Bruce, is a horse that's won about $200,000 this year. 4 wins and 16 starts. Lightly raced last year as a 2-year-old with only 5 starts, and he's part of an entry.
And the driver is Mike LaChance, who's having an amazing evening. He's been in the money 5 times tonight with 1 first, 1 second, and 3 thirds. Number 1A is In the Pocket.
In the Pocket. Well, one of his claims to fame is he has beaten Beach Towel twice. One of only 2 horses to beat Beach Towel twice, and In the Pocket is one of them. And he's won, well, just about $650,000 this year, winning half of his 20 starts. He's definitely a top contender with $1.5 million in earnings.
And the driver is John Campbell, who's driven this colt since he was 2 years of age and led him to a world record performance earlier this year. Number 2 is Kiev Hanover.
Beach Towel's other arch rival, Kiev Hanover, he also has 2 wins against the mighty Beach Towel. And Kiev Hanover, very strong of late. He's been extremely sharp with a victory over Beach Towel in the Bluegrass Stakes. He's a winner of nearly $600,000.
The driver is Jim Moran, a native of Ohio. He's only 26 years of age and is the youngest driver on tonight's card. Number 3 is Beach Towel.
Yes, indeed. The mighty Beach Towel. He's done just about everything, and certainly everything that Ray Remen has asked of him. The richest harness horse in a single season with earnings of over $1.9 million. He wins tonight. He goes over $2 million in a single season.
Ray Remen started the 80s by winning the first $1 million Hamiltonian, and now he ushers in the 90s with this year's richest horse. Number 4 is Brace Yourself.
This 3-year-old direct scooter colt has about $215,000 in lifetime earnings. Only 2 victories this year in 17 starts. He's got a trio of seconds and also 3 thirds this year.
Driver Jim Miller is also the trainer of this colt, and this is his first Breeders' Crown drive. Number 5 is Ship Snoops.
Yes, one of the names that announcers don't particularly care for. Ships Snoops is a 3-year-old son of On the Road Again. He's won over $400,000, and you hate to see him on the front because you have to call his name so much more.
Doug Brown is the skipper of Ship Snoops, driving the flamboyant owner. He's driving for the flamboyant owner, Harold Ship. All right, let's move on. Number 6.
See what I mean?
Global Assault.
Okay, Global Assault is a 3-year-old son of Albatross, and he's banked $325,000 this year. Won half of 6 starts last year, and he's a tough colt. He can be there if he gets a good trip.
The driver is Ron Waples, who's been very busy tonight, but he's never won this race in the Breeders' Crown. And number 7, Till We Meet Again.
Well, Till We Meet Again won this event last year in rather dramatic fashion. Made a break just about at the start of the race and then made up about 10, 15 lanes. Collared the field, came on a sloppy track, and came on to win the event. It'll be tougher for him this year.
The driver, the legendary Buddy Gilmore, 1989 Harness Hall of Famer, and also a man who has won 5,000 wins in his career. So it's a very good group assembled in this race coming up, our final live race on ESPN. It's the 3 Old Colt Pace, and it's led by Beach Towel. Well, when you look at drivers, trainers, and managing partners in the standardbred industry, age is not a prerequisite for success. Experience is, and that's where 24-year-old Seth Rosenfeld comes into the picture. Possessing a maturity which belies his age, this whiz kid from New York City is the man who runs the show for Beach Towel.
I've been in the business since I was about 12. I started going out to Mile and Bell Farms, which my father and my uncle owned, and I used to spend summers there, which was, you know, for a city kid, it was a lot of fun just to be out of the city and on a horse farm. You know, I always loved being out at the farm and being around racetracks and around horses. I worked with the yearlings, and I got to meet a lot of people in the industry. And I was just an inquisitive little kid that was running around asking people questions all the time, and I, you know, buried my nose in all the books I could find and the racing magazines. And I think it's maybe a little bit different for someone in horse racing, but I basically did to horse racing what everyone else does for sports like baseball and football. It's the first time I noticed beach towel was when I looked through the catalog when I was at home, and I didn't turn the page down like I usually do if I'm interested in a horse. And trying to think back to that time, I think what it was is that he was a Kentucky bred, and I thought that if he looked good, he would bring more money than I would want to spend on a Kentucky bred. Well, we bought him for $22,000, and I probably would have gone. Everyone asked, well, how much higher would you have gone? Probably I would have made a couple more bids, somewhere around $25,000. So when I bought him, I wasn't thinking this is a multi-million-dollar horse. I was just thinking this, this could be a real good horse, and this would be a smart purchase. But the way he's turned out is sort of beyond, your wildest expectations.
Part of Beach Towel's success can be attributed to the Remen brothers, who have trained and driven horses for Seth and his family for many, many years.
We all work together, but we divide the functions up as Larry concentrates on training the race horses, I concentrate on training the yearlings and the young horses, and Ray supervises us both.
When you have that many horses, it's important, I think, to sort of divide up into groups to keep a more careful eye on them.
We'll have them scheduled to hook up the end of the week.
Right.
Seth is not your average owner or your average 24-year-old. Since graduating from Cornell in 1988, he has made this his full-time career.
I'm typical in many ways that my likes and dislikes are pretty similar to a lot of other 24-year-olds, but there aren't, many people who sort of have the lifestyle.
He has come through a harness racing family and has been around them his whole life. He is probably as much or more than most of the owners in the industry right now, even if he is only 24.
For me, I feel old now. I'm 24. Everyone else thinks I'm young. For me, it feels like I've been around forever. People have asked me, I guess, the last couple of years, what would you do if you weren't in harness racing? And I really don't have the slightest idea. If I knew that I'd come up with beach towel, which was just a stroke of luck, I think I'd do everything the same again.
And if Beach Towel wins tonight, he will go over the $2 million mark for this year. We'll head to the beach when we return.
And they're off and racing. On the outside, it's 800 number taking the lead as they head into the first turn. Followed by Handsome Discounts, Jumbo Jet, and now here comes Special Race Package. And it's Charter Member. Charter Member now making his move on special offer. On to the backstretch, it's Charter Member, but limited time is gaining. And here comes 800 number as they head for the wire. Charter Member wins.
Call now to join the winner's circle and save up to 50% on travel.
Whether I'm racing 200 miles an hour or driving 55, I don't accept compromises. You shouldn't either. Cars should be responsive yet fuel efficient, roomy yet sleek, not to mention affordable.
Well, surprisingly, one car does all that and more. The new Cutlass Supreme.
And in the coming months, we'll show you when you take a look at any new Cutlass Supreme, you'll see.
Here's one car that does it all and does it right.
This is the new generation of old.
There are those who thirst for something different, something beyond the ordinary. For them, there is a beer that refreshes like no other. Michelob Dry. Once you've experienced its bold taste, with no aftertaste, there's no going back.
Education. Oh, you know how much college costs these days? But I'm not worried. I own part of a toy company and something called a mutual fund. You see, Grandpa set up an account for me at Charles Schwab. When I'm ready for college, my money will be waiting for me at Schwab. Grandpa used to call me Ty Cobb. Now he calls me Tycoon.
We give you more ways to succeed.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
There's a look at Beach Towel, the top candidate for Horse of the Year in standard bred racing. And he is the favorite for the upcoming 3-year-old Colt Pace, which will be the final race live on our program. Here's a look at the current odds. Beach Towel getting the heavy action. 2-5 on the tote board. Kiev Hanover listed at 3-1, and the entry of CKS and In the Pocket, third choice at 4-1. Right now, let's check in with Brad Diamond.
Well, with me now is Fred Carmody, and as you can see, Fred has a beach towel over his shoulder, which is not unusual down here in Florida, but this is not your ordinary beach towel. You see, Fred is the caretaker for Beach Towel, the horse, and this just happens to be Beach Towel's favorite towel. What makes this towel so special, Fred?
Oh, I just first started using it as a rubbing towel, and I always took it to the paddock because I used it on him. And the terrible night in Toronto, I didn't take it, and it's the only time he's ever made a break this year. So Ray makes sure I always have it with me at the track.
In fact, Ray told me, who of course trains and drives Beach Towel, he didn't know anything about the towel until the North America Cup.
No, he didn't. It was just another towel, you know, and we bought it down here in Fort Lauderdale, and it really isn't any good for humans to use. It's too thin in that, so it was perfect for, you know, using the horse to rub him out after you give him a bath.
He was wearing it tonight before he went out?
Yes, sir.
Okay, there you have it. Beach Towel has everything going for him tonight. Now let's go back to Bruce.
So Beach Towel is getting the support, and Beach Towel has the good luck charm to go with it. We are getting ready for post time for the 3-year-old Colt Pace, and year in and year out, this is the event and this is the division which usually produces the superstar in standardbred racing.
Well, that's true, Bruce, and of course, Beach Towel in line to become Horse of the Year. He's done everything. Again, if he wins tonight, a first or a second tonight, actually, I believe will put him over the $2 million mark. And that alone is one thing. He's won Little Brown Jug, the Adios, the Meadowlands Pace, the Prix d'Eté, the Tattersalls. His list of accomplishments is quite long, and if he wins tonight, I don't think there's any question that he could very well be named Horse of the Year. Town Pro has had a sensational year, but I think the nod would probably go to Beach Towel.
There's a look at the Elegant Trophy, the original work crafted by internationally known Oris Force Glasbrook of Sweden. The Breeders' Crown Trophy will go to the owner, but then there are smaller versions which go to the winning trainers and drivers and stallion nominators of each crown champion. The horse is assembling behind the gate. The world record is in the pocket. And the Pompano track record is 1:53. And that is Andy's Orr, Call for Rain, Frugal Gourmet, and Run the Table. The world record, let me just update, the world record is 1:50-4, set by In the Pocket. There's the exact graphic. And there's a look at the odds with Beach Towel 2-5. Long shots all the way along the outside. Beach Towel will leave from post position number 3. Here's Tom Durkin.
The odds board now reads 1-5 for heavily favored Beach Towel. Horse of the Year honors on the line here for this Breeders' Crown. Gate picking up speed, and they're off. And Beach Towel going right out for the early lead on the far outside. In the pocket, he'll be caught wide going into the turn. And then down inside, CKS is right there. Till we meet again, has been taken back abruptly early and on the outside. Global Assault and around the first turn. And Campbell sends in the pocket to the lead. Beach Towel is chasing him down to the quarter-mile mark on the inside. CKS saves ground past the quarter. 26-4, a searing opening quarter here. And here comes Beach Towel, and he's up after the lead. And Ray Remmen aggressive with Beach Towel tonight. And they're taking charge into the second turn. In the pocket now, second down the inside. On the outside, Global Assault is races third. For the inside, CKS now saving ground at fourth. Kiev Hanover is now parked out fifth. Brace yourself. Six toward the inside. The outside, it's Till We Meet Again, and Schnoops trails the field. A blistering half mile, 54-2. Beach Towel is pressed on the outside by Beach Towel now holding on to the lead. The half went 54 2/5 seconds, and then down on the inside in the pocket right there, saving ground, and Global Assault still pressing the leader, Beach Towel. The field moving forward, the final turn. Beach Towel is turning back the challenge now of Global Assault on the inside, and the pocket is right there, and 3/4 of a mile up in 1:23-4. They're still chasing Beach Towel. battle. Kiev Hanover is forced to come 4 wide in his bid for the lead. CKS is just in behind in the pocket, and the field turns for home here in the Breeders' Crown, and Beach Tall kicks in. He has something left in front for the drive. Striding away with power and ease, Beach Tall, sensational in victory in 1:51 and 2. That might have been the performance of the night. Absolutely sensational. Beach Tall showed why he may be Horse of the Year for 1990.
So Beach Towel, the 3-year-old pacer, wins his 18th race of 1990 in track record time of 1:51 and 2, annihilating the old mark by 1 3/5 seconds. Beach Towel, the all-time single season's earning record in harness racing, now over $2 million for one season.
Well, Bruce, I don't think there's any question about who the Horse of the Year is now. 1:51 and 2. That lowers Pompano Park's track record set by Deria 2 a couple of weeks ago, just 3/5 of a second off the world record held by In the Pocket of 1:50 and 4 for a 5/8 mile track. And when Ray Remen asked Beach Towel for more, there was more. He pulled away from that field. Horses that were getting trips at the rail could not keep up with him in the stretch, even though he was right there for that 26 and 4 opening quarter. That was an impressive mile.
So Beach Towel prevails despite the fact that In the Pocket was in the pocket, but could not pull out and chase him down the stretch. Horse of the Year, Beach Towel, no doubt.
I'm Mary Regulus, speaking for my husband, who is in Washington and can't reply in person to some of the half-truths you've been hearing. His opponent tells you Ralph voted for a pay raise for Congress. What he doesn't tell you is Ralph's vote on the same ethics bill took away an equal amount of income that congressmen receive from special interests and big lobbyists, or that Ralph has returned nearly $1 million to the United States Treasury because he cares.
Vote for Ralph Regula for Congress.
It's okay to be upset and angry with Ralph Regula. He hasn't met our needs. Regula and his Washington cronies have lowered our wages, raised our gas prices, and billed us for the savings and loan ripoff. While he forced us to sacrifice, he voted himself a $32,000 pay raise and cut a deal to keep us from talking about it. Let's talk truth. Ralph Regula doesn't care how hard we're working or how much we're paying for Washington's mistakes. We have too much at stake to send Ralph Regula back to Washington.
On the outside, it's 800 number taking the lead as they head into the first turn, followed by Handsome Discounts, Jumbo Jet, and now here comes Special Race Package, and it's Charter Member. Charter Member now making his move on Special Offer. On to the backstretch, it's Charter Member, but limited time is gaining, and here comes 800 number as they head for the wire. Charter Member wins.
Call now to join the winner's circle and save up to 50% on travel.
Most important date in the 1991-92 racing seasons and for many years to come will be November the 5th, the day the Hanover yearlings sell at Harrisburg. The yearling crop has been raised in the same manner which has produced scores of harness racing champions. Hanover Shoe Farms has been the world's leading money-winning breeder every year that records have been kept by the USTA. The 1990 Hanover Shoe Farm yearlings sell at Harrisburg in the Pennsylvania State Farm Show Arena on Monday, November the 5th. The sale begins at 10 a.m. Be there!
November 11th on ESPN Sunday Night NFL. The San Francisco 49ers face the Dallas Cowboys. The San Francisco 49ers, the world champions, drive toward their 3rd consecutive title, led by perhaps the most awesome offense ever. The Dallas Cowboys have upset on their mind as they strive to regain the title of America's team. The 49ers face the Cowboys coming November 11th at 8 Eastern, live on ESPN Sunday Night NFL.
The 3-year-old Colt Pace is official. Beach Towel winning it, returning 280, 220, and 210. In the Pocket, 1A, part of the entry. 280 and 210, and CKS, part of the entry, number 1, 210. The trifecta was a low return, but the story is Beach Towel, bred by Stoner Creek Stud in Kentucky. And John Pavlak standing by in the winner's circle.
I'll tell you a story this morning in the hotel lobby. Some idiot who happens to be standing here with Ray Remen said, hey, anything can happen. Even Beach Towel can be beaten. When I turned and saw you, I was glad you didn't have the whip.
Well, I just wanted to make sure you knew I was there. I didn't want you saying something you'd feel bad about.
There you go. You can't, you know, you couldn't have picked a better post position than post position number 3 for this Colt, and he fires right on out.
Yeah, everything worked real well. Once in the pocket, got the front, and then we were able to regain. And then with Global Assault coming first over.
Let's take a look. You know, 26-4 first quarter, and we don't see many horsemen pull off quarters like that, but take us right through it here.
Well, when we left, there was lots of horses leaving from the outside, really more than I expected. I was hoping someone would find a spot back behind. I knew Campbell was coming to the front.
He's number 3 down along the rail, and John does what he has to do.
He always does. It makes it kind of tough on you. I was lucky to be able to get right back out here, which if I hadn't been, I wouldn't let John go so quick if I wasn't, you know, was worried about getting out. So was able right here come back to the front, and then after that everything was really in our favor, especially with Global Assault being parked.
This is indeed the winning move. Passed in the pocket and never looked back. And, you know, we saw a group of horses come at him at the 3 quarters, but he really was well in hand.
I think he's better tonight maybe we've been all year.
I think so too. Let's see that $2 million smile. There you go. Let's bring in Seth Rosenfeld. What were you doing when you were 24? You maybe did not own the horse of the year. Seth, first thing I want to ask you, at the beginning of the year, when you said that Ray was going to drive the colt, a lot of people raised their eyebrows. This is the day of the catch driver. It turned out to be an absolutely prescient decision.
Oh, it wasn't really a decision at all. Ray's you know, one of the few guys who's a top trainer, but is also a really top driver too. You know, when you have a combination like that, it's hard to beat, and I think the fact that this horse is still so good in November shows that.
All right, let's cut to the chase. I know he's worth millions, and there's tremendous pressure on a young man or any man to decide whether he'll go to the stud. May I speak for the million who are watching? We'd like to see him next year.
I'd like to see him too. It's still very much up in the air. We'll probably end up making some stallion deal, and the farm that gets involved in the deal will have a lot to say about what happens next year.
The balance don't go out for horse of the year for about a month, but I think I know how most will be filled out.
Yeah, I hope so. You know, we thought this was an important race. Despite all he's accomplished this year, we thought this was an important race.
It was indeed. We've got to go across the track to Stan Bergstein. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, John.
Town Pro and Miss Easy were good, maybe great. This horse is phenomenal. He has now won 29 out of 36 starts. He's been 5 times second in those outings, and he now moves into a class with the almost unmentionable greats of the sport. Brett Hanover and Nia Toss. Brett Hanover, of course, won 62 out of 68 in his great career back in the 60s. Nia Toss in 1980 was considered by many the greatest of all time. Then came Cam Fella and Annihilator. You can put Beach Towel into that kind of exalted company. This is a great, great horse, and he has just clinched Horse of the Year honors. Now we go back to John Pavlik.
All right, here's a look at the 3-year-old Colt Pace, the official results. Beach Towel winning it. Beach Towel, the 3-year-old Colt by French Chef out of the Armbro Nesbitt mare Sunburn, trained by a man with a lot of class, Ray Remen. We'll be back.
And they're off and racing. On the outside, it's 800 number taking the lead as they head into the first turn. Followed by Handsome Discounts, Jumbo Jet, and now here comes Special Race Package. And it's Charter Member. Charter Member now making his move on special offer. Onto the backstretch, it's Charter Member, but limited time is gaining. And here comes 800 number as they head for the wire. Charter Member wins.
Call now to join the winner's circle and save up to 50% on travel.
The farm. Limestone Springs, nutrient-rich pasture, mild year-round climate. The service, world-class care, with comprehensive 24-hour veterinary staffing. The value, a yearly rate for mares of only $14 a day, which includes nearly all add-ons. Castleton Farm, the finest standard bred boarding facility in Kentucky. Try our complete care program. Call 606-231-TROT.
Welcome back to Florida's Gold Coast. We're at Pompano Park in Pompano Beach, Florida for the Certified Vacations Breeders' Crown. A tremendous night of racing has just been completed and capped in dramatic fashion by the brilliant 3-year-old Beach Towel. Let's go back for a moment, if we might, and recap what has transpired here at this race oval. It began with the 3-year-old filly Trot. The winner was Me Maggie for Bernd Lindstedt, and the returning price is $340, $260, $220. Delphi's Lobel was second. The official return, as far as the official order of finish, Me Maggie was first. Delphi's Lobel was second. Happy Diamonds, one of the early favorites in the event, finished in 5th place.
And of course, Kind of a Hush, who appeared to be on the way to victory there. made a break and was placed from 2nd to 6th.
In the 4th race, the horse and gelding trot, No Sex Please, was your race winner in 1:55. That's a new world record for a 5/8 mile track. Delray Lobel 2nd. And here's the official results with Friendly Face of Finland finishing 4th.
No Sex Please, absolutely good there.
5th race of the night was the mare trot and Peace Corps, winning her 3rd Breeders' Crown Championship in 1:54.2. Another brilliant performance, another world record. Stig Johansson in the bike. And the official results for that particular race, Scenic Regal finishing 5th after finishing 2nd 3 times in crown competition. In the 6th race tonight, the 3-year-old Colt Trot, Embassy Lobel. Brilliant performance, 1:56.4. Gene Somali and Armbro Iliad finished 2nd and 3rd. Cheyenne Spur finished 7th. Super Arnie was 11th. In the 7th race of the night, the mare Pace, Caesar's Jackpot was expected to win. She did, finishing time 1:52.3. LD's Trish was 2nd, Windy Answer 3rd, and Cheery Hello, who won last year, finished 4th. In the 8th race of the night, the 3-year-old filly Pace, Town Pro, as expected, was dynamic. 1:54.4 the time with Doug Brown in the bike. Delinquent Account finished 2nd, Lady Genius 3rd, and Instant Rebate was 4th. In the 9th race of the night, the horse and gelding Pace, it was Bay's Fella, the largest price in the history of the Breeders' Crown, $140.60. Top Notcher, the heavy favorite, finished 2nd, and Sandman Hanover finished 3rd. And in the final race of the night, Beach Towel, as expected, in brilliant fashion, capping an amazing night at Pompano, 1:51.2, a new Pompano all-age track record. In the Pocket was in the pocket, but still couldn't catch the beach. There's a good look at Beach Towel, who has definitely clinched Horse of the Year honors with 18 wins and 23 starts. For some final thoughts, let's go to John Pavlak.
Tonight, I will remember Beach Towel in that spectacular all-age track record effort and each of the favorites who won here tonight and even the long shot. But most of all, I'll remember the fans. For every race, they stood up and cheered. That's what harness racing is about, standing up and cheering. That's the memory I'll take home from this night at Pompano Park.
Well, I'll tell you, the winners did what they should be doing, I suppose, and that is win races tonight, with one exception, and that was Bay's Fellow upsetting Top Notcher. The driver was Paul McDonnell. He drives in the Ontario Jockey Club circuit in my hometown, Toronto, Ontario, and he has had a lot of bad luck lately, has not made it to the winner's circle. This did not seem to be the place that his luck would change. Well, it did, and you can bet there are a lot of people back home planning a big party for Paul McDonnell on his return. Now let's go to Stan Bergstein.
The Breeders' Crown is supposed to be a forum for champions, a tableau of greatness, and the best that this sport has to offer. And tonight it gave all of that. Great crowd here at Pompano Park, enjoying a windy, warm Florida evening and championship harness racing at its best. That's what the Breeders' Crown is all about. It all comes down to the Breeders' Crown. Back to you, Bruce.
The Breeders' Crown is an event in which hopefuls become champions and champions become legends. Mac Lobel became a legend several years ago in the Breeders' Crown, and Peace Corps became a legend tonight as she captured her 3rd Breeders' Crown Championship in world record time. Gary?
Well, Bruce, the Breeders' Crown was everything it was billed to be. It was a great night of racing, and it was the showcase night for the sport of harness racing. You had 2 world records, 3 track records, 6 Breeders' Crown records, and indeed, like Stan says, like we all say, it all comes down to the Breeders' Crown. Great night of racing. Congratulations to Beach Towel, to Town Pro, to the rest of the winners, even the 60-1 shot.
And it all came down to that final race of the evening, with Beach Towel trying to solidify the Horse of the Year honors. He did so in brilliant fashion as he opened up in the deep stretch and proved once again that he indeed is the best 3-year-old in North America and perhaps the best horse in the world this year. Gary, it's been fun.
It certainly has, Bruce. We'll be seeing you again.
For our entire broadcast crew, I'm Bruce Beck. Thanks for joining us, everyone. A good night from Pompano Beach, Florida. The 1990 Certified Vacations Breeders' Crown has been brought to you by Embassy Suites Hotels, where you can afford to upgrade every trip. By McDonald's. You know the one. It's McDonald's for food, folks, and fun. And by Certified Vacations. Congratulations not only to each of our 8 champions, but also to all who participated in tonight's Breeders' Crown races.